more fantasy football owners have been lucky the past couple weeks. Injuries to key fantasy producers have been at a minimum, and while that waters down the waiver wire, it's a trade-off many are willing to make. This past week saw several players leave games early: Chris Hogan, Jordan Reed, Devonta Freeman, Pierre Garçon, as well as a few notable guys not even suit up: Devonta Parker, Jay Cutler, but for the most part, the injury outlook isn't too scary heading into Week 9. Things have a tendency to get worse as the week goes on, though, and a couple players from returning from bye weeks: Leonard Fournette, Sterling Shepard will need to be monitored throughout the week. Follow us on Twitter at @SN_fantasy for the latest updates. Chris Hogan injury update: Hogan seems to get banged up every game, and sure enough, he suffered a shoulder stinger late in New England's Week 8 win over the Chargers. His arm was reportedly in a sling after the game. New England has a Week 9 bye, so don't expect to hear much about Hogan for the next week and change. Chances are, he'll be questionable leading up to New England's Week 10 contest in Denver. Jordan Reed injury update: Reed suffered a hamstring injury in the second quarter of Washington's Week 8 game against Dallas and didn't return. The severity of the injury is unknown, but given Reed's checkered injury history, it wouldn't be surprising if he missed at least one game. If he's out, Vernon Davis would step in and gain immediate fantasy value. The veteran tight end has made several big plays this year, and with Washington's WR core still in disarray, Davis could establish himself as the Redskins' most consistent target. Devonta Freeman injury news: though no injury was officially announced, Freeman appeared to suffer a shoulder ailment late in Week 8's win against the Jets. He didn't return to the game for Atlanta's final drive when it was trying to run out the clock. Tevin Coleman took over and wound up leading the team in rushing. If Freeman misses Week 9's game against the Panthers, Coleman would be in line for 15 to 20 touches. Pierre Garçon injury update: Garçon played sparingly after suffering what appeared to be a neck injury in the first half of Sunday's loss against the Eagles. Few details have been given about the incident, but either way, Garçon was limited to just 2 catches for 17 yards despite a favorable matchup. He has another favorable outlook against the Cardinals next week, but his health will need to be monitored. If Garçon can't go, San Francisco has no wide receiver who stands out as a sleeper capable of taking his place. Duke Johnson concussion update: Johnson left Cleveland's Week 8 loss against Minnesota because of concussion-like symptoms, but he cleared concussion protocol shortly after the game. Cleveland has a Week 9 bye, but Johnson will be ready to go in Week 10 against Detroit.